People say it came as something of a shock. Well, certainly came as a shock, some might say, to, of course, the former royal known as Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. By the way, chums, if you carry on calling her Meghan Markle, it could get litigious. I kid you not. All publications have now been told that they have to refer, they have to refer to her in that, vernacular, as it were. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't know about you, Meghan Markle is Stoke. I know in certain parts of the world they still refer to Catherine, the Princess of Wales, as Kate Middleton. I can tell you she's not too bothered about that because she knows that's how people first discovered her, and that's that. But to suddenly change her name, it's very symbolic, isn't it? It's a bit like Prince, do you remember? The purple pop star. I met Prince, lovely man, by the way. But do you remember he suddenly decided to call himself Symbol when he fell out with the Sony record thing. And this is apparently what the team, and I just love some of the staff that still work for Meghan and Harry, apparently are saying behind the scenes. They call her Prince. Not in a good way though, you know what I mean? Yes, to her face they call her boss. I know, it's frightening, isn't it? But behind the scenes, let me tell you, this really happened with Meghan, and this is truly says everything you need to know about exactly why she's running out of time. Let me explain. Good to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today, and welcome one and all brand new subscribers. Lovely to have your company today. And yes, still sounding a bit hoarse. I'm sorry, I will get it sorted out. You keep thinking it's going, then it comes back, doesn't it? You've had the same thing, I know. Do you remember tunes when they were good? I used to love tunes. They worked, didn't they? Yeah, and lockets. Now it's like eating sweets. They're just useless, aren't they? And you can have a packet and you think, well, it's not helped at all. But we get there. Yeah, honey and lemon, hot water, all the traditionals, they're the ones, in my opinion, that absolutely work. Now, let me explain this to you. Do you remember this a few years back? Two powerful people on the front cover of Time magazine. Do you remember? Oh, yes. I mean, we all laughed at that, didn't we? Influential people. They ran towards danger. It's just ridiculous. Absolute nonsense, wasn't it? But of course, at that point, Harry and Meghan had a lot of kudos. People still quite liked them. You get the picture. And they were able to maneuver the media into their own way of dealing with it, right? That's what they thought. Now, here's where it gets as ever really interesting, because Meghan Markle was stunned to find that Time magazine had not been very kind to her for her, cooking show, whatever it's called, With Love Meghan and whatever. Is it With Love Meghan? As ever, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of lost interest in that, really. I just find it very funny. I find the whole thing, I think Mindy Kaling will dine out on that show for years because it was hilarious, for all the wrong reasons. But back to Time magazine. Now, on a more serious note, the reason why they've seemingly fallen out with them is simply this. At the time of securing that, remember, there was a different agency working for Time at that time, right? And here's where it gets interesting, because they've now all parted ways and they're all ready to spill deals and tell stories too. But you see, they worked very hard to secure that front cover for Harry and Meghan. But the deal was that further down the line, not regularly, but every now and again, both Harry and Meghan would be contributing editors, as it were. So they were going to supply pieces to the magazine. And that was part and parcel, as ever, allegedly, of the deal. The deal was that if we give you this, then we'd like you to comment on this. Nothing salacious or negative, but it could be just something about climate change, air travel, something that they're dealing with, so that they could say they're going to get 4 at least front covers a year that hopefully will push up sales. Just went dead. According to that source who works at Time, basically they just could never get contact with them. And this is the reoccurring theme. It's like the Spotify thing. Can't get anything off the ground. And farcically, if you remember, Meghan said that, she's constantly in meetings and then they have lunch together. Well, what's she meetings for? Because clearly she's not getting anything going with Spotify or Lemonade or whatever that was. She works 1 hour a week for the charity, and seemingly a golden opportunity with a very prestigious magazine like Time once again slipped through their fingers. And then, of course, Meghan, very hurt, offended and deeply upset by the fact that they didn't gush when she came to them with her TV show. Looks like time's up for Meghan and Harry at Time. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.